Hey, there y'all are. Son of a gun, you snuck in on me. This is Tennessee Homestead. How the heck are you? Hey, today I'm going to tell you a little bit about a fellow who went out and a potential customer. Uh, I, let's put it this way. I'm probably going to take on his cows as a customer because some people shouldn't be messing with cattle. You know what I'm saying? So I'll tell you what, hang on just a minute and we'll get this whole thing started, alrighty? Okay. Alrighty, we're back. Hey. um, and hang on to the end of the video. I got an update for that COVID-19. Some of the stuff I said in that video, one of the things about the types of virus it wasn't totally 100% correct, and I got the updated information. I knew it. I just presented it wrong, but I want to make sure that you're not off in the weeds with it. Okay, so stick around toward the end. What I got going today was fun, man. I got to go out and play with cattle. I love it. That's my favorite pastime, you know. Other than the fact that you ever seen these people that own cattle, you just like to kick their butts because it's like if you don't know what you're doing, stay out of it. Okay. I'd set up an appointment with the guy because today was supposed to be a really nice day. Yeah. Welcome to Tennessee. It had its surprises for us. Surprises to the extent that I went out there about sunup. And we started got way the heck out in this. He had about a 25 acre pasture there, and man, we're way out away from the vehicles. You know, by the time the big black clouds rolled in quickly and the skies opened up. I mean, there wasn't a dry nothing on neither one of us by the time we got back to those trucks. What a mess. But, yeah, he's not making any money with his cattle. He's losing money. He said, yep, if he can't straighten it out, he's going to get out of cattle. Okay. And there was a part of me that said, just shut up, Rich. Tell him, yep, you're right. No money in it. Get on out of it. Man, I'm telling you what, he had a bunch of Angus mixed cattle out there. And if you looked at him from the back end, you think he was looking at a bunch of black jerseys. Yeah, seriously, nothing but skin and bones. The old V of death was right there on him. You know, these cattle were hungry, man. Hungry. And he's turned them out onto a 25 acre pasture that I think he said he'd been out there for about, I don't know, a week, something like this. And he had like 25, 30 head on his 25 acre pasture. That the grass had never recovered, probably from the last time he had grossly overgrazed it. And we started talking about things such as, especially as I was walking back to the trucks in the lane, Show pointed out to him, you see all this runoff here that's headed toward that creek and toward the ditch? And he's like, yeah. I said, it should be soaking into your ground, son. I said, you know, you couldn't get more runoff out of this land if you got out here and plowed and tilled it. And it's a mess. I said, there's a lot you need to catch up on because you're not a cattleman. Technically, most cattlemen, most stockmen will tell you, we're grass farmers. That's what we do. We grow grass. We feed that grass to our cows that we also sell. But we grow grass for a living. Don't know how to grow grass. Don't know how to maintain a pasture. So you're going to end up with cattle like you've got. And every time you go to auction, you lose your shirt. He admitted. he hadn't gotten much of nothing. I told him, I said, son, you're not. I said, I buy cattle sometimes at auction, and there is no way I'd buy one of those cows. I said, those cows are hungry. I said, which means they could have all kinds of potential problems from being malnourished. And so we drove up the road a bit to another fellow that I'd known and stopped by there. By then the rain started to subside, because it pretty much subsided about the time we got back to the trucks. Yeah, you know how that goes. Just soaking wet. But it would take this guy and showed him what an Angus cow looks like. And it was, he said, yeah, he must really hay them cows up a lot. I said, yeah, and that's what you need to do. I said, right now you need to throw about 4 bales of hay out there for those cattle, good quality hay. Well, I'm out of hay. That's why they're out in the pasture. I said, you're out of hay. It was too early to put them on pasture. That grass isn't tall enough, thick enough. You need to reseed that pasture. That pasture's shot. And so when I went over to John's place with him, we all three were talking. John was like, you've already put them out on pasture with no hay? You kid. He's a stockman. Raises some, he commercial cows. They're not, he doesn't use them for breeding stock as far as selling registered animals. But he has a good, solid commercial herd. Them girls are solid. This old boy, man, I gotta tell you. Like I said, they look like Jersey cows. They did. Man, that was sad. But anyway, at the end of it all, he said, yeah, let's put a program together. And then him and I just got off the phone a little bit ago. And I told him, I said, now, you're talking some serious seed costs and so forth. I said, but it can, get you on the right path. And he said, after seeing them other cows, you don't drive around and look at other people's cows and go, how's mine compared to theirs? But, wow, that's like, you're building a Model A car and then trying to set up a dealership between two brand new car dealerships today. It's not going to work out well for you. Didn't have a clue. Sorry to say, he was the epitome of what most Northerners think Southern farmers are. Seriously. Boy was about as sharp as a bowling ball, So I'm going to work with him, I think. Either that, and that's kind of what I told him. If you and I are going to work together, you got a lot to do. And that's because I don't want my company attached to cows that look like that. That's bad for business. And, like I said, John plugged me. He said, you better listen to him. He knows what he's talking about as far as beef cows go. He said, the man knows his business. Listen. I thought it was pretty good, man. I almost had hat pop off my head from it swelling. I was pretty impressed. But, pastures are a mess. And he hadn't hayed those cows in the last 3 weeks. He ran out of hay. Luckily, John was able to tell him. He said, "I can get you some rows of hay out there today." He says that my hay. He says it's a little more expensive than average. He said, but he said I got the the lab reports on this stuff. He says it's good stuff. He said it'll put weight on them cows. And I was starting to explain to him that, listen, what you got to have here, son, is you don't want your cows starving in the winter, and then you spend the spring and summer trying to get weight back on them before you take them to market. You want your cows to be putting on weight even in the winter. Okay? During a bad winter, you want to at least hold your ground. What they put on last summer, you want still on their butts come the next summer. Don't let them lose weight on you. And, just wasn't haying them, put them out there on grass, and the grass was maybe 4 inches tall. That was it. And you was hard pressed to find a blade that hadn't been chewed on. And them cows looked like they were half starved. To make money, and that's what I was stressing to you, your first step in making money with cattle is your pastures. Okay? That's your feed. That's what feeds those cows. And I have heard this out of a lot of guys, and every time I hear it, you just want to reach up and slap them, Well, yeah, they dropped a lot of weight this winter. Okay, well, that tells me his feeding program's screwed up. He's either buying really cheap hay that has very little to no nutritional value in it. And believe me, I have went out on guys' farms to where they had their rolls of hay there, and the things was more, wild blackberry vines than anything else. I mean, cows cut their lips trying to eat this stuff. Needless to say, they got it scattered all over the place, ate very little of it, made a heck of a mess. That's a waste of money. It really is a waste of money. And then trying to instruct these guys on how, well, in this situation, he said he couldn't, he had an area that he could use for a hay field, but he couldn't afford the disc and the, and having himself a baler and all that. He didn't have the money for it. And I said, well, what did you pay for hay? And he said, well, I was paying about $40 for a row, 1,100-pound row. That's Jonathan. How much you charge right now to cut, rake, and bale? And he said, well, it works out to be about somewhere in the neighborhood of about $18 to $20 a row. I looked at him. He said, yeah. He said, I'll come out and cut your hay and rake it, let it dry out, get it rolled, leave it sit there in your field. You can come out and collect it if you got a tractor. If not, he said, I can even store it someplace for you. He said it's a little extra. $20 a roll. Okay. You grow the grass. He'll do the work. Okay. If you don't have the equipment, you'll find somebody in your immediate area that has the equipment. And there's a lot of guys that make a decent living, and that's all they do is cut hay. Cut hay. So don't necessarily just think, oh, I got to go buy it. You got the land, you got the acreage. Put yourself in a good, high-quality pasture and cut it for hay. There you go. $20 a row. You're good. Get it in a slow season, you might even get it for 18. So, but he taking the cows off hay. If you're wanting to get into cattle, understand that cow, pounds are everything. Okay? That's what you get paid for. Pounds, hundredweight. How many pounds is that cow? So why in the heck would you want to waste your summer putting weight on that cow just to turn around in the winter and watch her lose it all? It doesn't make any sense, man. It's just common sense. You don't want them dropping weight. You want them putting it on all the time. Now, in the wintertime, if you could hold their own, you're all right. At least going into spring and stuff, you're sitting there where you was and starting afresh to add more weight. If that cow's dropping weight, you're screwing up. That's simple. As a stockman, you're screwing up. So with this fella, what I told him was I'd work with him to we'll pick out get some soil tests done. We'll pick out what he needs to go in as far as pasture, get his pastures going. And I said, then we'll look into polywire and so forth where you can start controlling your pasture. So see if we can't make a stockman out of him. He's a nice guy. I mean, I don't mean to pick on him, but man, when I go out there and see half-starved cows, I get ticked. Don't pick on the cows. I like them more than I do most humans. Phew, man. But that's where he was at, and it was amazing to me. But man, you talk about a downpour. I bet it rained 3 inches of rain in about a half an hour, though, which was about how long it took us to get back to the vehicles. And then it stopped. And now it's about 70 degrees. Craziness. Craziness. But anyway, as far as making money with cattle, guys, you got to concentrate on raising the right feed. Okay? You got to have those pastures right. And you got to manage them. Okay? And most of you guys that are experienced stockmen that are watching, you going, how do you make money otherwise? Well, they're not making money. They're losing their shirts. This guy's ready to bail out of cattle. He doesn't think he can make any money for them. Like, good Lord. All I can think about is it's guys like you that drag down cattle prices. 'Cause people look at those little scrawny things and go, man, how much is bone worth? But, yeah. But at least he's asking for help. So which tells me there's hope, I guess. But he had way too many cattle on that 25-acre pasture. Because he had no grass. I mean, he had no grass. And it was a simple fescue pasture. There wasn't any diversity out there other than a few dandelions that popped up. He's going to be amazed what he can turn that into. But yeah, couldn't even cut his own hay, and instead he was going out paying for it. Has the land for it. But yeah, craziness. Okay, enough of all that. But that was what I was doing today. And man, talk about rain. Good Lord. We can't take any more rain here in Tennessee, I'm telling you. We're going to be floating down to the Gulf of Mississippi here pretty soon. It's bad. Okay, we'll move on to this COVID-19. Yeah, Lord, I'd said that the virus was nothing but the SARS virus, and technically that's what it is. Okay, it did mutate into bats, and it's more infectious, easier to transmit. That's how it morphed out. And you hear them saying, "Well, this one affects your respiratory," and so did SARS. Okay, it caused a lot of respiratory problems. So it attacking the respiratory system and your little brain that controls it all. That's SARS had all those little traits in it. So it's pretty close to being what SARS is, just highly infective. It's easy to transmit. I also pulled up I run across an article from the World Health Organization, and it was some fairly new figures. And I started doing the math on them and went, well, that's about right. And if so, this isn't going to be as bad as most think. It's going to be kind of like SARS. It's not going to be that serious. They were looking at worldwide figures for deaths and so forth. The infection rates that they had, the number of infected people still in China, China's death toll, and so forth. And that got me thinking about it, and I thought, because China's still showing 222,650 cases still active, okay, still sick with the virus. They've had 9,000 deaths. That's a lot, but not for influenza, really. So I was thinking to myself, and there's been like another 56 deaths worldwide. Excuse me, 5,600. Looking at this 56, 5,600 worldwide. Other than China. When you throw that in there, they've had like 14,600 deaths worldwide, which is pretty low for any influenza outbreak. It really is. I know it sounds terrible, but when you're dealing with those kind of numbers, it is what it is. Usually, most flus take out about 2 million people worldwide. So, 14,600, that was a good year. I know it's not over with yet, so it's going to probably go up. But, yeah, me and numbers, I'm a numbers guy. So I went out and looked at, okay, if 9,000 people have died in China, and I know people argue, well, China's lying. No, Probably not. Looking at the world's figures, probably not. Uh, you can figure China's almost doubled what everybody else in the world's had in deaths. So I don't think they're lying about it. They might put the thumb on the scale a little bit, but I don't think they're going to get nuts. But if you look at China's population, that's a lot of bodies over there, man. A lot of bodies over there. And if you calculate that in, what percentage of China's population got taken out by this virus? And here's what it came out to be: 0.00063%. Way on down there, folks. 0.00063% of their population died during this pandemic. Okay? Yeah. So, I mean, still, 9,000 people is 9,000 people. It's not a good thing, and you wished it wouldn't happen. But we've already lost more than that here in this country from the first outbreak of flu during the beginning of the flu season. So it happens. It happens every year. All right. But the SARS is more, or this new COVID-19 is easier to transmit, is what they're talking about. So my correction there, it's not exactly the same as SARS. But yeah. And it's people are having a lot of respiratory issues with it. I also looked at the CDC, and they were looking at pretty much if you're in your 40s, your risks of dying from this stuff are like slim to none. Okay, unless you got some other serious health issues, slim to none. In your 50s, slightly higher. 60s, slightly higher than the 50s. 70s makes a little bigger jump from the 60s, and then the 80s is, of course, if you're in your 80s, this is rough on them. Okay, it's really rough on them. So it progresses with age, and here again, they haven't had so many. It seems like the younger deaths are less. So, that's cool. Okay. Most of us older folks, and we've lived our lives. If we croak from a disease, that's one thing. Babies, I hate to think of babies dying from a flu virus, But that's where it's at. Don't know how bad this is going to be, but I think that's what all this quarantine nonsense is about, because it is highly easily transmitted between humans. So that's one of the problems with this COVID-19. Is it anything as bad as the only prevention you got? Leave a little distance between people so that if they sneeze on you, it doesn't hit you in the face. Wash your hands regularly. I mean, lots. But keep your hands clean. You can also do things like wear rubber gloves when you're out shopping, because if you think about it, most people wipe down the handle on the shopping cart and then go through the store picking up all this other canned goods and meat and whatever that has been handled probably by 8 employees, and you don't know which one of them might have been sick. So, wear a set of rubber gloves. Make sure the way you take them off is you don't want that exterior of that glove touching your body. Peel them off and use the inside of the other one to peel off the other one. So that you're not making any contact. Then when you get home, I would put on another pair of gloves just to unpack things and put it away. There's where you might want to go. Let me wipe cans down, and you spend a lot of time cleaning. But something to do. This panic buying stuff, that's still nonsense. Okay, that truly is still nonsense. Cut it out. Quit hoarding. All right. Number one, people out there, and I've seen a couple of things on it, and I heard on the radio today and stuff, where people were complaining about preppers because of what they're doing right now with the hoarding. Cut it out. Okay. You want to hoard? Start contacting companies that sell prepper supplies. All right. And start buying through them. Quit taking everything and its uncle. I saw a guy that shot a video in LA. Yeah. at grocery stores before they got a handle on it. Now they're only letting like 20 people at a time into a grocery store. Yeah, out there. So, but you know, one lady's cart I was laughing about. She had water and stuff like that in there, but she had 3 of the mega packages of toilet paper. Really? You know, if they keep acting like that, they're going to bring government control on them. That's what's going to happen. All right, the government's going to have to step in. And this is what I had mentioned in that other video, and I'm going to mention it to you again. Preppers, it's time to clam up. Okay? You got to understand there's laws on the books that if Washington, D.C. declares a food crisis in this nation, everything you own is up for grabs. Everything you own, food-wise, is up for grabs. Think about that. They'll come in and clean out your preps for you. Pat you on the head, say thanks. It's in the laws right now, today. Look it up under food emergencies. A lot of it's stuck in underneath the Defense Authorization Acts. If they want to, or feel the need to, and declare a food crisis in this nation, and you've been out bragging about all the stuff you got, they're watching YouTube, kids. Okay? Yeah. And the difference is the government can put an address with that website or with your channel. They know who you are and where you are. Oh, you got 5-6 years worth of food. Okay. Let's go share that with your neighbors. And that's what's going to happen. So hush. Do yourself a favor. Hush. You know, if you're out planting great big huge fields of corn and beans and all this, don't be bragging about it. Just kind of go about your business, because you're going to draw a target on your back if a food crisis gets declared. All right? It's just a piece of advice. If you're going to show how to grow a tomato plant, maybe say, look, I got a tomato plant. This is how you grow it. Okay? Don't take them out and show them a field of tomato plants. It's not a good idea. Because if we do get into a food crisis, then it could be a problem. Although I haven't really seen anything out of the USDA. They may be a little slow getting some crops in this year, but I don't think it's going to be anything drastic. But I'm watching it real close. If I catch anything on the radar, I'll scream. But, yeah. Anyway, this went long. Y'all have a great day. And try to stay out of the rain. I'd just taken a shower this morning. Got all cleaned up. Out there I went, and by the time I got back, I had to get out of the soaking wet clothes. And you know how you feel after you've been soaking wet from rain and out tromping around in the field? It's like, okay, well, let me take another shower. Good grief. I'm wasting my soap. At least I'm not using toilet paper on it. Toilet paper. That's going to be the joke going around for the next 5 years. Y'all know that, right? Preppers and toilet paper. Yeah, you're going to hear about it. You brought it on yourselves, man. Alrighty, this is Tennessee Homestead. I love you guys and I appreciate you. I hope you're having a great week and have a wonderful weekend. I got one more I'm going to try to get up this week, but it'll probably be Saturday. Got a little behind this week, but I'm going to try to make sure I'm ahead of the curve for next week. So y'all take care. Have a great weekend. Like I said, love you guys. Appreciate you. And like I said, don't get crazy with this stuff. The media is really getting crazy. And understand it's the media. All right. Y'all take care. We'll talk to you real soon.